Books have long been seen as windows to new worlds, sources of knowledge, and companions in solitude. But what if the books we choose to read can shape not just our thoughts, but also our physical and emotional well-being? It's a topic that many overlook. Often we focus on the benefits of reading, but rarely do we consider the potential risks. Yet, just as the food we eat affects our bodies, the content we consume through books can have powerful effects on our minds and, by extension, our health. Let's begin by exploring the psychological impact of reading certain types of books. Horror novels, for example, are crafted to elicit fear, anxiety, and suspense. Vivid descriptions of terrifying events, supernatural threats, or gruesome scenes can trigger your body's fight-or-flight response even when you're sitting safely in your room. This reaction increases levels of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which can have cascading effects on your health. Elevated stress hormones over time can disrupt your sleep, weaken your immune system, and contribute to issues like high blood pressure. But it's not just horror that can have this effect. Books that deal with controversial topics, or that convey negative, hateful, or disturbing messages, can also influence your mental state. Reading stories that revolve around violence, hopelessness, or manipulation can subtly affect your perspective, coloring the way you see the world. Over time, exposure to dark or controversial themes can lead to increased anxiety, sadness, or even paranoia. When this happens, the line between fiction and reality can blur, and your mood may suffer as a result. Consider, too, the impact of political or ideological books. When a book is designed to persuade or manipulate, especially if it promotes divisive or extreme ideas, it can stir up strong emotions, anger, fear, frustration, or hopelessness. These emotional responses are not fleeting. They can linger and influence your interactions with others, your ability to concentrate, and even your long-term worldview. If you find yourself constantly agitated or distressed after reading certain books, you may be experiencing the psychological toll of negative influence. Fantasy and science fiction novels, while often praised for their creativity, can also sometimes have unexpected effects. If the stories are filled with dystopian futures, constant danger, or existential dread, they can foster a sense of unease or hopelessness. When readers immerse themselves in worlds that are relentlessly bleak or chaotic, it can sometimes spill over into their view of their own circumstances, leaving them feeling powerless, anxious, or detached from reality. But how do these emotional and psychological experiences translate into physical health risks? The mind and body are deeply connected. When your thoughts are troubled, your body responds. Sleep is often the first casualty. Reading disturbing, suspenseful, or emotionally charged material before bed can make it difficult to fall asleep, or cause you to wake up during the night. Poor sleep affects every aspect of health, from memory and concentration to metabolism and immune function. Chronic sleep disruption increases the risk of conditions like obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. The influence of books can also extend to your eating habits. Chronic stress and anxiety, often triggered by consuming unsettling content, can lead to changes in appetite. Some people may overeat as a way to self-soothe, while others lose their desire to eat altogether. These shifts in food and calorie intake can disrupt your body's hormone balance, affect your mood, and even contribute to long-term health problems. Mood disorders, such as depression or anxiety, can be exacerbated by repeated exposure to negative themes or distressing narratives. If you find yourself feeling persistently sad, irritable, or fearful after reading certain types of books, it may be a sign that the material is not suited to your emotional needs. Over time, these mood disturbances can take a toll not just on your mental health, but also on relationships, work performance, and overall quality of life. Heart health may also be at risk. Intense emotional stress, such as that triggered by particularly scary or disturbing books, can cause spikes in blood pressure and heart rate. While brief moments of tension are unlikely to cause harm, chronic exposure to stress-inducing content can contribute to the development of heart problems, especially in those who are already vulnerable. It's important to acknowledge that everyone is different. What disturbs one person may hardly register with another. Our personal histories, sensitivities, and current life circumstances all play a role in how we react to certain content. The key is to pay attention to how you feel during and after reading. If you notice negative changes in your sleep, mood, appetite, or general well-being, it's worth considering whether the books you're consuming are serving you well. This doesn't mean avoiding challenging or thought-provoking books altogether. Rather, it's about being mindful and intentional in your choices. If you find that certain genres or themes leave you feeling unsettled or unhappy, it may be time to switch to material that uplifts, inspires, or soothes. Trusted novels with positive messages or gentle escapism can have the opposite effect, lowering stress, improving mood, and fostering a sense of peace and well-being. Think of books as you might think of video games. Games like Sims or Candy Crush can provide gentle stimulation, encourage creativity, and promote relaxation. On the other hand, games that are violent, disturbing, or highly stressful can leave players feeling agitated or drained. The same is true for reading. Choose books that nurture your mind and spirit, rather than those that leave you feeling anxious or unsettled. In the end, reading should be a source of joy, learning, and comfort. By being mindful of your book choices and listening to your mind and body, you can ensure that your reading habits support, rather than undermine, your overall health. If you're ever unsure, remember, it's always better to reach for a trusted, uplifting novel than to risk your health and happiness on content that doesn't suit you. Your well-being is worth it.